Crap. Hello once again. Welcome to the Paranormal Nightstalker. This is a very special live edition. We are coming to you much earlier than normal because I am going to be resting up tonight and getting ready for tomorrow night, which we'll talk about in a minute because we'll also talk about what you're going to be hearing next week, which will be what I'm going to be doing tomorrow night, but that'll be in the future both times because it's in the future from where I'm sitting now and the future from where you're going to be hearing it then. And if I haven't confused everyone that is listening by now, then thanks for sticking around. I am Joel Walling, of course, the host, and with me as always is Michael Smith. And like I said, this is a different live edition than what we normally do.
Can you go back and start over? I'm confused.
Yeah, you know what was really confusing? I ended up hitting enter instead of next, so I actually have to go onto the speaker site and work out my tags and all of that stuff in the show description and all that. I typed out the name. I don't even know if I don't even know if I actually have the name typed out completely right or not. I just hit enter instead of next to go into the. So this is a flustercuck of absolute epic proportions, and to think of all the crap I'm doing this month. I mean, but then again, I've really been burning in at both ends for some time. I barely remembered to hit the damn intro song, which then I remembered I actually put this on to play in the beginning anyway, so I don't actually know if the people listening have now heard the song twice, so I hope you guys like it. Like I said, tonight's going to be an eventful night.
Well, it's us. Nothing that we do ever goes off with too much of a hitch.
Oh, well, actually, I don't know if I can say that anymore because let's start off with some really positive news. As we told you guys about a couple of weeks ago, we are going to be doing a joint presentation with the Vancouver Paranormal Society. It's going to be the PNBC and VPS because not technically, but me and the other guys from PNBC, did I say PBS?
No, I don't think you did, but you might have
Okay.
thought it.
Okay. Me and the other guys from PNBC are also members of the Vancouver Paranormal Society. And Pete Wren is the president of the Vancouver Paranormal Society, is also a member of Paranormal North Coast, British Columbia. So whenever we work together, technically we are both teams and we are one team at the same time. It's a confusing enough thing, and I think I confused enough people tonight. But
It's like dating your cousin.
sorry about that. Still fighting a little bit of that cold, and that made me laugh and cough at the same time. But so yeah, we have the presentation at the Terrace Heritage Society or Heritage Park and Museum, and as we told you guys, I think it was last week or a week before, there was a very limited number of tickets available. Well, that limited number of tickets available is no longer available. They were gone. So the lady there, Kaylee, is working hard to find us a bigger location. So if you guys have not got your tickets yet, don't stop asking for them. Keep calling, keep emailing. If you go to the PNBC Facebook page, uh, Facebook at Paranormal BC, I'm also going to be adding this to the site probably Monday. All the detail information is there about how to get your tickets, but keep doing it, keep going at it because, like I said, the lady is working on right now getting us a bigger spot, and I know her. She was already looking at bigger spots, so she's going to get a spot big enough to take in every person that wants a ticket. So don't stop asking for it. But the 40 tickets that were originally available are gone. We just got word of that today, and they were only like available from the beginning of the week. So that was a big, just like a huge response. Totally maxed out everything we had even anticipated. Totally thrilled by that. Now, if you can't get enough of PNBC this month, and I hate to do a whole show of plugging PNBC, but then I promise it's not going to be, but it's going to be a lot of it. this month we have a pretty packed schedule. Right now, tomorrow, and if you're not listening to this live, tomorrow for me is Saturday, October 13th at 6:30 p.m. This is the meetup time. 6:30 p.m. We are going to be doing a public investigation at Hirsch Creek here outside of Kitimat. So if you live in the Terrace or the Kitimat area and you've ever wanted to be on a paranormal investigation, come on down. We'll take you with us. You can come on the investigation with us. Bring your little apps, whatever you got, you can bring them with you. We can show you the stuff. We're going to do a little bit of a presentation showing you the stuff that we use, showing the stuff that, and how we do it, what the theories behind it are. We're going to do a little explaining, not too much, but then we're going to hit the creek. We're going to go through there. We're going to go, I actually have permission to tell you guys a ghost story. This was actually told to us by a fan of PNBC. He sent it to our Facebook page. And basically what he told us is that he and his girlfriend were camping there a few years ago. They were in one of the campsites. I believe he said it was campsite 2. Early morning, something like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. He all of a sudden hears what sounds like a bunch of people talking, and then a baseball bat being banged into a concrete picnic table, which the campgrounds all have concrete picnic tables. But so he hears this echoing, and it's freaking him and his girlfriend out. He's getting dressed, getting ready to go out of the tent, and all of a sudden he hears this just giant, just crashing sound of glass being broken. He thinks, oh my God, they're tearing up my truck. So he goes running out the tent, forget being dressed, whatever. He's just out of the tent, and when he goes out of the tent, there's no one there. There's not a sound. The strange thing is that when he goes over to the picnic table has marks where it has been hit. And a ball bat that he kept in the back of the truck, an aluminum softball bat, had dents in it and concrete dust. But they had not been moved. It was still in the back of the truck where he kept it. It just looked like it had been banging on this table. They couldn't find anyone. There was no one around them. So that is definitely one of the spots we are going to be focusing on. And like I said, it's going to be a good time. If it's something you've ever wanted to do, something you've ever thought about doing, we're going to be there for a couple of hours. We're planning right now to start, like I said, we're going to have the meetup at 6:30, and then the investigation we're planning on starting at 7. Then, we may go an hour, just depending on the level of activity we get. We always leave investigations open-ended, because if we get to a site and it's extremely, extremely active, well, we could plan an hour investigation. We're going to go longer than an hour. We're going to go 2 hours. We're going to go 3 hours. We're going to go until we drop, or the energy stops. So, right now it's planned from 6:30 to 9. So we're planning a 2.5 hour, I guess, deal. We're just going to be there. Again, like I said, if you were in the Terrace Kitimat area, I don't know how far out this reaches. It goes into Kitwanga or to Hazleton. If Hazleton wants to drive all the way down there, it'd be a drive back, I tell you that, or Prince Rupert. But if you're in those areas and you're interested, come on down. Like I said, we'll be meeting there. Me and the guys plan to be there by about 6, 6 at the latest, just so we have everything set up, ready to go, and hope to see everybody there.
Now, do they need to bring anything for that?
Well, we are asking people that if you come, we're doing this in an attempt to help the Kitimat Food Bank, because we have another event planned later on this month. The 27th, we are going to be taking part in the Terrace Zombie Walk, because zombies eat brains, but people need food. And that is going to be for the Terrace Food Bank. So we're trying to do this to help not leave the Kitimat Food Bank out, because the need in both communities is drastic. It is really, there is need everywhere, but in the two small communities that they both need help. So we're looking at anyone who comes. We're asking. It's of course it's not necessary, but we're asking if you could please bring a non-perishable food item, and we're going to be taking that to the Kitimat Food Bank. And so that's, like I said, we're trying to help out there too. Just to, 'tis the season, and it helps. Like I said, the need is great. So we're going to be trying that, and since we've already got the zombie walk coming up on the 27th, and that's going to be for the Terrace Food Bank, we're going to be trying to help the Kitimat Food Bank, and you know, try to help cover some of the need that's here in this community. And I think that is actually all of my PNBC plugs.
Um, don't we have another investigation coming up besides that?
I don't know. As of right now, I'm not sure if it will be later this month or possibly next month. But last weekend we did a investigation of the George Little House in Terrace, British Columbia, and it was actually a really neat experience. We had a walkthrough done by psychic medium Sherry. She's been a guest on here dozens of times, and not dozens, but she's been on a lot. Everybody that listens to this show should know her by now, and if you don't, if you're a fan of from the PNBC page, she's on it too. So basically, I call her the inner circle with me and Michael, because basically there's not much that one of the three of us haven't done that the other ones aren't included in. So she's one of us now. So anyone listening has probably heard her name. If it hasn't been her on the show, we've been talking about her. She's been doing something with PNBC. She did do a walkthrough with me, and she got some amazing stuff. I'm telling you, it was. There are some little known facts about George Little, which he was one of the founders of Terrace, and that that makes him a very public figure here. And she hit one of the little known facts about him that absolutely floored me, because nobody I've mentioned this to knew it. Nobody. And that was the fact that George Little was missing a leg. He actually ended up losing a leg in an accident when he went out prospecting closer to the end of his life. And she was like, "Why? Did he have something wrong with him? Was he sick, or did he have a deformity or something? He's got a really bad limp, and he needs a cane. He has to have something like that." And it's like I said, until I heard it mentioned by the curator herself, that as part of the activity, they say they hear someone with a limp and a large thud step and walking in one of the hallways, and she's like, we assume that's George. And I was like, okay, well, what would make you think it's George? And she's like, oh, it's because he only had one leg. The other leg was wood. And I was like, okay, well, that would that would do it. That normal step thud, normal step thud, normal step thud. Then yeah, that would do it. You. And she's like, says, yeah, we assume that's George. That's the first time I'd ever heard it. Which I will be the first to admit, I haven't lived in Terrace all that long. I've never lived in Terrace. I haven't lived in Kitimat all that long. And I did not know a lot about who George Little was or what he did. I knew he was a founder of Terrace, but other than that, that was about it. But so I've actually talked to a few other people here that have lived here the whole time and do know a lot of the local history, and they're all like, he lost a leg? Really? So it was not a commonly known fact. It was something. George, I think from what I'm gathering, from what I understand and I've read now and I've heard about George Little, he was a kind of proud man. And much like, was it it was FDR. He ended up in a wheelchair during his presidency. Wasn't it FDR?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he.
Yeah, I remember right. If I remember rightly, it is.
Well, I'm positive it was Roosevelt. I'm positive it was Roosevelt, and I know it wasn't Teddy. But yeah, he refused to be seen in the wheelchair. So he would have them wheel him as close as they could to where he needed to be, and then he would get up and walk, even though he needed the wheelchair. And I think this was kind of the same with George. It was not something that he wanted known. He didn't want that weakness seen in him. So he didn't show. He kind of became a hermit. And it was not something that, and even if he did, he limped, but it's, oh, I've got a limp, so what? I'm older, and, I hurt my leg in a accident, but he wouldn't let it known, and he had only one. At least that's what I'm gathering from like I said, what I've read and everything, that he was a strong, proud guy, and he wasn't going to let it be known that he had a weakness. So the fact that he had the leg, that was a big one from Sherry. That the fact that she got that he had a major walking problem, and she was like a major limp, and the way she described it, she picked up on a few other things. She picked up on the fact, and this was something else that was not really said because there's not a lot about his wife. His wife actually died in the house. From what I understand, she was actually playing a game in the parlor with some friends and had a massive heart attack and died on the spot. And she picked that up. She said she actually said the wife died of a heart attack, and she died in the house. So like I said, there were quite a few things, and a big one. I forgot to put that in. I got that because this one was rather huge. This is absolutely not known anywhere that I can find, or even the curator. The curator didn't know it was actually somebody else that worked there that was able to pull it up in another book. But and the book is rather obscure. Apparently, Clara, at the beginning of their marriage, had a miscarriage, and Sherry picked up on that, and that was documented in one, like I said, in an obscure book. It wasn't the curator; it was another lady that worked there, her assistant. And when I brought it up, both of them said, no, I don't think so. And then the other lady is like, no, wait, she did. And she goes and starts digging for it, because it was like, oh, wait, I did read that. And that, like I said, that's just not out there. That is not a known fact, again. So, psychic medium Sherry just really, really, just knocked it out of the park with that walkthrough that she did with me. I would love to be able to show you all of that walkthrough. And I'm really pissed at Samsung that I can't. Because, frankly, you hear me talking, you hear my amazement of the stuff that she's getting, and you see her talking away. It just didn't bother recording any of her audio. None of her audio was recorded. Come to find out that Samsung did an update that the recording program that I used is no longer functioning properly. That it cuts off because of the two-party consent laws. It now cuts off the other party. So it only records what you're saying, not what they're saying.
Yeah, so you can't do any illegal recording of a conversation.
Yeah, an illegal illegal recording of a phone call or something of that nature. And like I said, I'm extraordinarily pissed because that was just amazing to see and to hear. The things that she was coming up with were just absolutely, like I said, it was amazing. And to see her just talking away and hearing me look at Dan and go, I remember especially that one because I was going to be, and Dan's like, what? I was like, she got the damn leg. And his jaw just dropped open. He's like, she knew he didn't have a leg? Because like I said, that was something that nobody has known. So it was impossible for Sherry to, a lot of people, oh, well, they look it up. Well, yeah, but that was impossible. You can't find that.
All I have to say about that is I'm a researcher, and I have been for a lot of years. And I'm pretty good at digging. And I looked for it after you told me about it, and I couldn't find it.
Yeah, you see, and I actually was telling you about this the other day, and I don't know if Sherry's listening, and if she is, I hope she isn't upset by this. But as much as I'm still amazed by her ability, I'm still a researcher.
Yeah.
And I'm still slightly skeptic. And like I said, I hope that doesn't offend her or whatever. But I don't like doubt, but I'm like I keep things secret, especially when I'm consulting her for something. I keep things secret.
Well, she doesn't want you to tell her anything. She
No,
wants
no,
to
she
be.
actually insists that don't tell me anything, don't tell me anything. But like a
She
lot of
wants
the stuff
to.
with the George Little house, I actually and I told the other guys this. I kind of deliberately lied to her. I didn't describe it as what it was, just so if somebody did come up and say, "Oh, well, she probably just looked it up," because I actually had planned on doing the full video of her walkthrough, and being filmed from my reaction and all of this, and putting it up on the PNBC Facebook page and on her own psychic medium Sherry. And I want it because I know the first thing that anyone is going to comment is, okay, you fed her the responses, or she looked them up. Well, I deliberately didn't tell her the exact. She didn't. She never asked like exactly where it was or anything like that. But I deliberately told her things that even if she was to look it up, it would not lead her in the right direction. So I was like, I when I tell you guys that Sherry has done stuff that amazes me, and I can't figure it out, that I have to just frankly say that whatever gift she has, whatever gift she uses is legitimate. It's because I have done things to try to make sure that there is no way that it could not be anything but that. And she still knocks it out of the park every time. And like I said, I hope if she's listening, I hope it doesn't upset her or anything. But that's just the like I said, I'm one of those people. This will go into another story. I'm one of those people that I like to have all of my bases covered, and I like to plan for the attack we're going to get. Whenever you put out evidence, or every time you put out anything in the paranormal, you get your common run-of-the-mill comments and the ones you have to answer every damn time. Well, that one with hers is, of course, I know she's going to be, oh, well, you gave her, or you told her in advance and she looked it up. And I know that, so I knew that was coming. So I could specifically sit down if anyone said that and say, no, I didn't. In fact, I did just the opposite. I did things to make her look in other places if she did look it up, just so she would miss this one. Yet she still pulls out details that aren't printed anywhere. So now how do you explain that one? And of course they're going to jump back with the all famous, well, it's fake, which I absolutely love because well, it's fake. Because and somebody else actually posted this, and I'm going to steal it from them, and I'm going to use it from now on. I actually love getting that response, the oh well, it's fake, because that means that they have sat there and they've looked over whatever you've put out, and they've looked it over, and they've looked it over, and they've looked it over, and they have no way of saying anything else negative about it. So the only thing they have to do is say, well, it's fake. That's the kind of, well, I know you are, but what am I? Response of the paranormal world, right there. That is the lowest response you can possibly give. Is, well, it's fake, because are basically saying, I have looked it over, I have nitpicked it, I have gone through it frame by frame, and I can't explain what the hell that is, so I'm going to call it fake. That's what I'm going to do. And the reason I said that's going to lead me into another story is, as we told you earlier about our Hirsch Creek investigation tomorrow night. Well, I put that out here because we want a lot of people to show up. We're trying to help the food bank. We're trying to, you know, help out the needy, and we're trying to get the people who are interested to come out and, see what we do. So we put this up. Well, of course, you have to have the one asshole in the group. So we have a woman on there by the name, and I know her first name's Amanda, and I think it's either Kozer or Kozak or Kozik or something like that. I don't know. And I'm not really going to go into this or her little boy toy, whatever the hell, or any of that. I'm not going into a lot of it, but this is all I want to say to you. and I hope to God you're listening. Thank you so much for complaining for as long as you did. You kept our post at the top of the page for almost 3 hours. You got 5 new people interested, 2 new people coming, and got us 6 new likes on our own paranormal page. So I want to thank you for being a conceited pain in the ass. I want to thank you for that because you allowed us to get a much better response where had you just walked away, just scrolled on past, it would have gotten buried in the bottom of the page and forgotten. But no, you couldn't do that. And you had to get your friends to come on and do it too. And for that, I gotta thank you. Because you have helped it reach a much further audience than it would have ever reached on its own. So thank you, once again, for complaining. You helped us get new fans and more people interested to help the hungry. So I just can't thank you enough for that. So
nothing like calling somebody.
What's that?
Nothing like calling somebody a conceited pain in the ass live on the air.
Hey, it is what it is. I've always been one of those people that just shoot from the hip. You know that. Yeah, and I'm in that kind of mood. Because,
Lord.
It's like I said. She got on there and she just kept complaining. And she's like, well, do you know that? Yes, I know about this, but I'm telling you right now, it's not my choice. I put this up to a vote to the community. Specifically asked our fans that are not in this community. I said, if you are not from the Terrace or Kitimat area, or going to be in the Terrace or Kitimat area at this date, please don't vote. We need to know the people. This has got to be a vote from the people who are going to be there. And we got like 60, 70 votes. Well, Hirsch Creek won in a landslide. And I mean a landslide. It was like 50 to 20, I think it was. 50 something to 20 something. So it won in a landslide, better than double.
So for people that don't know, because I don't know, what is the deal with Hirsch Creek? What's the
Well, her problem with it is there was a triple homicide in there 20 some years ago.
Okay, well, but not counting that, because we don't want to make too much hay on something like that. But what are the other?
That's what I told her. We were not actually even looking into that. That was not even going to be part of our. That was never going to be mentioned. She was the one that brought that up. What we were looking at is the campsite complaints. We've gotten a lot from the campsites. We've gotten reports of shadows. We've got reports of people talking, stuff walking through woods, people being seen around corners. There is all of this land that is Kitimat and the Kitimat area, because the Terrace area was Shim Shim. But the Kitimat area is all Heisla land. The Heisla were here for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. Basically, the white people came down the Douglas Channel, said, we're going to move here, and they took over. So Hirsch Creek, one of the places we've been investigating in the Lower Dyke Road, all those were satellite Heisla villages. This, where the village is now, or around this area, was the main village. The Heisla moved, their hunters and their fishermen moved for the seasons, and then they brought it back to the main village for the winters. They spent the winter here. So since they were not physically living in the village at the time, and like it would have mattered, like it mattered at any other time, they assumed, or at least this is the, I guess you would say, the official white statement. Since they were not in the villages at the time of the initial contact with settlers, the settlers assumed those villages were abandoned and destroyed them and moved in. Well, then the Heisla come in the next spring for deer season or, fishing season or something like that, and the settlers go, well, no, it's ours now. And they're kind of going, well, wait, we lived here. And, well, too bad, we've got guns. So that's kind of the same stuff that happened with Hirsch Creek. The Heisler were basically pushed off of where they went for their food, where they counted on to eat, and they, needless to say, there's always been a rather violent history in it, and I think it's scarred a lot of the land here. I think it's made a lot of the stuff bad because you got to realize this wasn't only a taking of their land, this was causing them to starve because you were cutting off their food supply. So it's not only a matter of that, it was a matter that they took away their food. They didn't only just take away their home, they took away the food too. So, there had to have been battles for this. Of course, that stuff's not in the history books.
No,
So,
the history very seldom is.
no. And, so like I said, Hirsch Creek, Dyke Road, Giant Spruce, all of those, there's a very bad past there. Very bad. And like I said, we get a lot of the same reports. Us ourselves, we have attempted a couple of times to go to Hirsch Creek, um, but it was during wild animal season, and we got chased out of there by something. I don't know exactly what it was.
Doesn't matter. It's time to run.
Yeah, it was one of those things. It was that was this thing. It sounded. It didn't. I didn't really think it sounded like a bear, but at the same time it did. But it kind of like kept on blind charging us. And I mean, I literally had to like get out and bang on. I laid on the horn for like 45 seconds, a minute straight to try to scare it off. I mean, it was like right there on us.
I
And so,
wasn't there, but Bigfoot will do bluff charges like that.
yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, I'm thinking if it was a bear, it was a young bear because it didn't seem very big, big. If it was like a big old grizzly or a big Bigfoot or something like it was big bear, then yeah, we'd have known because it would have been like crashing trees and crap like that. But that was when we went there, and we did not get a lot of responses. I will say that we did not get a lot of responses, but we did get a few, especially like toward the entrance. The entrance seemed to be where the stuff was really going. And like I said, we've gotten a lot of reports to campgrounds. People talking about people walking around their tents and getting out and not finding anyone there. People talking, people walking through the woods, people seeing people out like walking past them, and then they turn around, they're gone. Things like that. There's a lot of common, I guess you would say,
Common
common,
haunting.
yeah, common haunting in woods type of thing. But
Well,
that's
hope you get some good stuff. It sounds like.
I am too. I think we will, and that's going to bring me to what, like I was doing the future conversation at the beginning. The reason it's going to be in the future is next week. What I'm going to do is we're going to do a live intro. We'll be talking about it for a few minutes. Sorry, I'm trying not to sneeze here. But after we talk about it for a couple of minutes, I'm actually going to be recording the investigation. So you're actually going to hear us. You're going to be on the investigation with us. I'm going to record it and play it back for you guys on the show. So you'll be able to hear it live. We will be in the chat. So if you have any questions or want to know anything, you can get on there and chat. Of course, you'll always are able to find us on Facebook or on Twitter at Nightstalker Pod. Even though I don't really use Twitter that much, but I still have it on my phone. It still comes to my phone, so it will be there. And that way you can, like I said, if you have questions about what we're doing, what we're using, if you hear something, because right now we're still backlogged with evidence.
Tell
We're
me.
doing we're doing more investigations and we're still backlogged.
Well, actually, you're doing the investigations, and I'm backlogged.
Well, I'm trying to help you.
I know.
Yeah,
You keep going out doing stuff, and we got more evidence to review. Oh, thank you.
yeah,
Appreciate that.
yeah. It's like we are actually just about done with all of the stuff from the Heritage Park because that was a big one. That was 3 days and multiple cameras, and it was big. It was a lot of stuff to go through. I'm still going. We're almost done with all of that. Then we got to go to the George Little House. Then we got to go to the Hirsch Creek, and then possibly back to the George Little House. It's just like, oh God, what have I gotten myself into? But I say that a
Yeah,
lot, and then I just
yeah,
drag you along for fun.
yeah. You drive me along for the ride. After all these years, I don't have enough sense to say no. I don't want to do that.
Yeah, you should think by now that you probably would see you see like, hey, I got an idea, and you just go, oh Jesus, and run.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have good enough sense to do that. We've been together all this time. I may as well stick with you till the last.
Yeah, yeah, we've already been through a hell of a lot to begin with. But as far as things of going through, I think I'm about done for the night. Like I said, I want to rest up and get ready for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a very busy night, and I can't wait for it. I hope a lot of people show up for it and turn out. And this it's just it's new to the area. I don't, I'm not expecting a huge crowd. But I'm like I said, I hope a few people do show up. I know there's quite a few people that have been talking about it for some time that are like just chomping at the bit. And I said I can't wait for tomorrow. So anything else you want to throw into it?
No, I think I'm good. I can't think of nothing on my end. Everything's kind of copacetic down here. It's cooling off a little bit. It's finally getting down into the 70s instead of being 90. So hopefully
That's
I'm going to
always a
be able to
perk.
go out and do some investigating on my own here.
And the water's going away.
And the water's going away, so we won't be floating along. So yeah, hopefully I'll be out going back down to Adelaide again and doing some more investigating down there because I can never cover that whole place. It's too big. So I'll be bringing you some more of that. And otherwise, just do an evidence review, usual stuff. And do we have any more plugs to get in? Are we good?
Well, no, I think that's it. I'm just going to get in my shameless normal ones that I always do, which are, of course, for the Paranormal Nightstalker. If you would like to find us on Facebook, you could do that at Nightstalker Pod, Google Play, Google Plus, Google everything. The Paranormal Nightstalker, then at Twitter at Nightstalker Pod once again. Of course, if you are by some chance listening to us but do not know exactly how you have found us or on what device, if we're just some random voice filling the room you are in, you might want to go check and see if you need new medication. But before you do
I
that,
need to know some of that.
you need to get on whatever mobile device you choose. You can go through iTunes, iTunes, Podcast Addict, crap, I can't talk. Stitcher,
Black.
Podcast Addict, Google Play, or Speaker, probably, and a dozen other ones. I can't even remember all of them. Spotify, YouTube. Anyway, you could go to just about anywhere you find podcasts, including on the Alexa speaker network. We're still trying to get our own speaker network, speaker Alexa network rather, but that's still a work in progress. But right now on the Alexa speaker network, you can say Alexa open speaker and then find Paranormal Night Stalker because we are literally everywhere. Go there, give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, whatever in the hell they tell you to do. Just do it for us, and then go figure out why we are random voices just broadcasting in your head instead of you actually choosing the device that, like I told you to do earlier. Okay, for Paranormal North Coast, British Columbia, you can find us online at our website, which I haven't updated quite as often as I should, and I need to do Monday, but that is www.paranormalbc.com. On Facebook at Paranormal BC. YouTube is also some form of Paranormal BC or Paranormal North Coast, British Columbia. We don't really aren't active on YouTube. I've got all of the videos, but I keep forgetting to upload them. Or not really upload them, just publish them. Because we got a lot of other crap to do. I'm not even going to sit here and say, oh, it's because... No, I've got other crap to do. Again, I hope everybody comes out tomorrow if you can make it. It's awful short notice, but if it's not, that's okay. We forgive you. But we would love to see you the 24th. If you're in the Terrace, Kitimat area, if you're in Prince Rupert, Prince George, no, Prince George is way too far away. Don't try that crap. But Kitwanga, Hazleton, Smithers, that area, that's a couple hour drive. You can come down out go to the Paranormal North Coast, British Columbia at Paranormal BC Facebook page, and you can find all the details about the presentation of the Terrace Heritage Park. Believe me, this is going to be worth it. It is working on the presentation now. Pete and VPS have already given me half of it, and I'm adding in our PNBC half, and I'm telling you right now, it's going to be an incredible presentation. So come up, see us in. Other than that, I think I'm out of air and out of stuff to say, which is an absolute amazing fact because God knows I don't shut up for much. So until next week, this is Joel Walling signing off for Michael Smith. Have a good night. Hope to see you guys out in the field at some point, and we'll talk again soon.